Hi, it's Mr. Casey again. So now let's go ahead and try some little bit more difficult example problems. So these would be your example number 4. Again, I'm going to write this down. I would really like for you to try to do this on your own, so that way you can try to figure out where we're making mistakes, if you are. And then we can try to fix them together, or you can watch me while I go through it and make sure that you're not making those mistakes as well. So let's go ahead and let's start with our first step. Draw a river. Again, I would like for you to try this on your own. So go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, remember to label my sides. I got variables on the left, constants on the right. So the first thing that I need to do is go ahead and remember our first step for the variable side is to distribute. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and distribute -3 here. So let's go ahead and do the math. All right, the signs first. Negative times a positive is gonna give me a negative. 3 times x is gonna give me 3x. Negative times a positive is going to give me a negative. 3 times 12 is going to give me 36. And remember, we bring down this 8x, so we didn't do anything with it. And then equals, and now let's go ahead and do the distribution on the other side. Constants. Distribute. Remember, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So let's go ahead and distribute on the right side. -2 times x, so negative times a positive is going to give me a negative. 2 times x is going to give me 2x. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 10 is going to give me 20. And then remember, bring down what we didn't use yet. Okay, so now that I'm at this step, now what would our second step be? If you said combine like terms, then you are correct. Okay, so what we do to one side first, we'll do the first side. I'm going to go ahead and just box my variables. And I'm going to circle my constants. So this is all on the left side first. And now let's look at the right side. Remember, on the right side, we want to combine our like terms. What we do to one side, we do to the other. Okay, so here, again, we want to make sure we're combining. So I'm going to go ahead and box my variables. Remember, you're boxing the sign. And I'm going to circle my constants. Circle my constants. Okay. So now let's just look at the variable side first. I have 8x minus 3x. So 8 minus 3 is going to give me 5x. And then did I do anything with the -36? Nope. So I just bring that down. Remember, these are equal. Okay. So again, we're still combining like terms. Can I do anything with my variables? Do I have any other boxes over here? No. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. Okay. But I do have 2 circles or 2 constants, so I can combine these. Now I have a negative minus a negative, which really means I'm bringing my negative down, and I'm adding these 2 together. 20 plus 20, or 20 plus 2 gives me 22, so -22. Now, remember, here we are at this point. Our next step, let's look at the variable side first. Remember our next step. We want to move constants to the right. If I do that on the left side, I have to do that on the right. So I need to move variables to the left. Okay? Remember, when we cross the river, remember this is a river, inverse operations. You have to use inverse operations. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to move my constant over. So let's move the constant from the left to the right. I'm subtracting 36, so I need to add 36 because that is the inverse. That cancels. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So remember, I'm adding my constants to my constants. Okay. So now I have a negative and a positive. So if I had 22 negatives and I'm putting 36 positives to it, I'm going to get 14. Remember, my bigger number is positive, so it's plus 14. And then now I just bring down the rest of the stuff. Minus 2x. And then my 5x. See, those came down. Okay, and now it's equal. Remember, they're still equal. Now I need to move my variables from the right to the left, so I need to move my variables to the left. Now, inverse operations right here. Remember, inverse. If I have negative 2x, what's the inverse of a negative? Positive, so plus 2x here. Okay, what do I do to one side? I have to do to the other, so these cancel, so plus 2x over here. So now I've got 7x equals, bring down my constant, 14. Okay. Now that we are here, remember our last step is to divide. So I need to divide my 7. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Now I've got x. Remember what our last step is? X equals what? So x equals 14 divided by 7 gives me 2.